Hello. So it's my first time trying to live stream anything. So we'll see how this goes. A little apprehensive. It's a little weird. But yeah, you can see the development environment here. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out this whole live streaming business. the app I'm using here to do it. So I'm just sending this to YouTube at the moment, but I feel like I should also try other platforms. I don't know. Do people watch this kind of thing on Twitch? I feel like people do. Anyway, okay. So I've got this like global setup where I've got like the CLI, the different components, some of which are no longer things that we're actually integrating. This idea for a console, a contributor CLI, which I use to manage some of the stuff I do while I'm working on Chewy. The demos folder, which is where I actually try it all out, docs, and the Gitpod workspace. Yeah, so right now, the latest thing that I've been working on is, and at the moment, it's just me mainly, like actually writing any code. So I'm doing terrible things and just committing straight to the main branch. Okay, so Chewy, whoops, that's not right. Chewy init. Chewy init, okay, I just wanted to check something out. Sample. Right now I've got this whole process where it clones and installs everything for the different components. These ones are components that just don't have anything, that don't have their dependencies and stuff configured yet. Right now it's just next, which I figured is a good starting point, just to have the UI configured. So what was going on first? Okay, so we initialize the components. Then the next thing I was working on, is actually running the components. So next, everything has this Chewy directory. There's commands, which has deployment. This is kind of a weird thing, but eventually the idea is to remove this commands directory. Like this is just for the MVP, just make it easier to build at the moment, but the commands directory will eventually be specified as a separate either repo or npm package that will install. Essentially, the commands is like a CLI that works for a given component. So it does the work to launch and manage and deploy that component. And yeah, so it's taken a long time to initialize. I need to figure out why that's so slow and if we can optimize it. But essentially the idea is that each component has its own. Oh, actually, part of why this is slow is because the commands directory is bundled at the moment in this .chewy directory, because it has to install the node modules for the commands. Okay, actually, this is kind of interesting. The idea of like live streaming this. I feel like I'm rubber ducking this whole process, which is probably not a terrible thing to do. Okay, so we've got that. If I cd into sample app, run Chewy dev. Actually, I think right now it's just dev. Hello world, yeah. So let's take a look at the CLI. Dev. Start? No. Huh. It's weird. I thought I had. Oh, I guess I was just running it from the okay. So I don't actually have that set up here. I just prepped those files, but I didn't quite get around to it. Dev start, dev index, those should be, I feel like index should call start. True dev start. So that is doing that, which is good. Okay. I think what I was doing before is, okay, cd source next, Chewy and yarn run dev yarn commands dev. Okay, command dev not found. Let's see. Do demos sample app, source not nest. Let's not move that. Commands, source commands dev. Oh, yeah. Little. So I've got these in here just for like development. I've got commands dev, which runs bin dev. And so that should run, which should break at the moment. There we go. But it's broken in a different way in theory. Command CLI module not found, require failed. Go chewy libdist files. Oh yeah, this is the other thing. So building this has been kind of like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of complicated. Part because like all of these things are separate packages, and it's, I don't know, if someone has suggestions, I would really appreciate it. Someone who's worked on more projects of this nature where you have to have things like organized as different packages, but that like tightly depend on each other. So right now I've got this thing where I basically, here, I'll run yarn, a local, shit, is that, I think that's not actually going to do it quite right. Does it? No, it doesn't. And that's because, where are we? So we want lib is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, sorry. Dot dot. So 1 takes us to Chewy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you mean? No. That's, yeah, because yeah. Yeah, overwrite. A local. Maybe that should work. I'll set up the local library. Now I need to figure out what's the best way to, because when you set up a Chewy project, what happens is it adds the different components as using git subtree. Because yeah, here in this like global Chewy global, everything is submodules to be able to treat everything as like a separate Git repo because it's practical when these things are like independent. But when you're actually setting up a project, that doesn't really make sense. I think it definitely makes sense to treat them all as subtrees, um, so that the project itself, like everything, feels just like one Git repo. Big fan of the mono repo. So, okay. So in theory, that's installed now. You can see our dev command doesn't do a whole lot at the moment. Um, but let's see what it does do. Actually, did that even require? Yeah, okay, so we've got Chewy lib. Okay. So now if I do Chewy, oh, actually, I think I can. Is that a thing? I started to build that out at some point, but this might make my life easier for development, so I might build it right now. Chewy dev install command. I think it was command. Okay. Chewy command Next.js dev component with that name does not exist. That's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure it does. Source. Yeah, that's annoying. Command get component commands dir name component. Is it Next.js? Should be. Demos. Yeah. So okay. So the context here is what this is supposed to do. Component name is required. Component with that name does not exist. I think that would be happening. Okay. A component and with that name does not exist. Get component dir. Get project root dir. Wonder what's happening here. Okay, so I'm actually gonna open up. Man, like working across all of these different things is a little painful. Okay, so yarn local. I think I started this a little late because I feel like I'm gonna drop off in like 10 minutes. But who knows? Maybe we'll get something done by then. So let's see. Component with that name does not exist. Get project root dir. First thing it does, search for nested file upwards, working directory, component definition, dir name, yeah, file name. I feel like there's a component definition in current directory. Oh, that's Wait, is that what we want? Get component or? If not opt, component with that name does not exist. If we don't have options, okay, yeah, that makes sense. If we don't have options, we are in a component directory. So that's that. If we have a type in the options, then a component with that name does not exist. We don't have a type, so it should be here. So component directory names for each path resolved. If existing for push path, if found length is equal to 0, else component name is ambiguous. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we actually find. Found console.log found. I'm just gonna do a thing that I do. I like to have that in there just to make it easy to search if there's too much in the logs. Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna also do that like that. Be a little slower, but hey, component dir get component dir 51. What? Where were we? Oh, why is it running? Okay, yeah, again with this, okay, so yarn, I have to update the library. This is the thing. It's like, okay, so I've got the CLI depends on the library, but the CLI but we're also depending on the CLI in the component, which right now is in the demos directories. It's not actually the development directory for the component. It's just so many different things that need to be organized differently in development and production. So essentially what I've got here is I've got to run this command that I set up called yarn lup, which is local update, which will update the local library in the CLI. And now, in theory, we'll get our logging, our little logging message. Okay, so found is nothing. I'm also going to check console.log name. We'll do that. Also, I mean, I feel like there's some. Shoot, yeah. I have to do it every time. Why? I know I could organize this differently and just like use the TypeScript directly, but I think it's good to treat it as a proper library. But the building is always a little slow and annoying. So yeah, I don't know. Um, by the way, if anyone's watching this like after the fact and you're interested in, I don't know, learning more about like how this is organized or giving suggestions on how this should be organized, definitely leave a comment and subscribe and stuff, and hopefully we can build something that actually is good and helpful and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, okay, let's see if I do it this time. Fingers crossed. This is gonna be so slow. This is gonna be so annoying. Okay, so Our name is indeed Next.js. That is what we're sending through. Project. I should have just, I should log all the things. Path. Let's just do or dir. Oh, no, that's the. Let's do this little. Checking dir. I guess that'll let us know why this isn't being found. So what we want it to be is workspace to global demos sample app source Next.js. That should be the directory that's we're checking here. Command. Successfully rebuilt. It's good to see. Alrighty. It's kind of painfully slow when this kind of thing happens, though. Checking dir. What? What? This is confusing. Resolve should be giving us. I guess I should log project root, but why is project root not right? Project root is project root. Okay. Oh shoot, did I just yeah, I just cleared. I've got this like terrible instinct to just constantly clear my terminal. So it was just listing out the yeah, of course. Path. That's what I wanted. Checking path. That was very silly of me. Start it. So I'm using this TSDX, and I feel like generally I like it. There's a couple things I find are a little slow with the configuration that it uses out of the box. It's very nice to have just like a sort of nicely standardized TypeScript sort of environment, I guess, which is yeah. I mean, in a way, that's kind of the value we're hoping to create with Chewy, is that it's just sort of it might not suit everyone's needs, but it's a nice out of the box sort of experience that you can tweak if you need to. All right, let's do that. I see it is now. Okay. So why is this happening? So clearly there's something a little strange happening here. So it's looking at Chewy Global Demos, Sample Apps, Source, Next.js, Chewy Commands. I think it's just that I shouldn't be running it from inside the commands directory. Because so there's basically this get project root dir is not doing what we wanted to. Search for nested file upwards, project config dir name, that should be .chewy. Config file name is chewy project. which if we look here, Chewy project, we should be in the demos. Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Okay, I need to write a test for something there because that's odd. Project router. That is, yeah. So if we're installing, then you return that. Working directory, get working directory. That is set. Shouldn't be. I don't think. Okay. Well, gonna oops. Do that and see what happens. What? Sample source Next.js source. Okay, yeah. Do that. This should work. Hey, okay. Well, I didn't actually fix any bugs tonight, but I'll be back at this another day. This is good though. This error is good because this error is telling me that yeah, it's complicated, but it's good. Okay, well, thank you for watching my absolutely useless live stream on developing Chewy, and we will do this again someday soon. I'm hoping to do this a couple times a week, and yep, you'll quickly get a sense of how all of this works if you watch. All right, bye, friends.